we see? Why should we worry? No one will care, girl. Look at the stars, so far away.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to Truth and Transparency. Real quick, this is a quick update in who really killed Brian Drake. This is 37 pages that I have accumulated in my investigation into who really killed Brian Drake. Boom. I got to keep all these papers straight. How am I supposed to do that? Again, welcome to the transparency. Who really killed Brian Drake? It is not Dr. Daniel Moore, chiropractor, arrested after 6 months when the murder happened in March of 2020 during COVID. In fact, Dr. Daniel Moore, according to the investigation, was pretty much railroaded. He was framed, more or less. And if you haven't heard it, rewind it, go back and check out other episodes where you can hear what I believe to be a stage 911 call. It did not happen during the time frame that the wife, Jennifer Drake, said that she called. How was this determined, Lana? How can you just say these things? Well, I say these things because the evidence says these things. When you do FOIA brings back a very, very amazing. They can bring back amazing results. And Jennifer Drake said that she called the police, at a certain time, that she had hung up after she was talking with her husband. She had hung up, she had called, and she was on the phone telling people to go to her husband's office. Well, in the, how many pages is this? Something like 49. In the 49 pages here of the logs between 7 and 8 p.m., this is the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office. That 911 call was never placed during that time frame. So right there alone, then Jennifer Drake came out and told the public that she wanted all of our help. She did that, yes, just this past March of 2023, and she slipped up. I've been investigating this case since the name Gary Tolson was mentioned in Ann Taylor's motion. So this is something that I've been working on for a while. This is nothing new. But Jennifer Drake slips up and she says that she was with her daughter. She was with her daughter, and her daughter was sitting right next to her when she was talking to her husband when he had allegedly gotten shot, and that she had to then make that 911 call. That was the biggest slip that Jennifer could have said, because that, in fact, is a complete fabrication. Jennifer was not next to her daughter. Jennifer was, in fact, her daughter was with a family friend of hers. And let's see here. This family friend, to my knowledge, has never been interviewed. Also, Beth, yes. Beth has a daughter. Their daughters play together. But let's see. So again, Beth had an overnight sleepover for her daughter where Jennifer's daughter was that evening, that afternoon. So she was there. She was, again, with Beth. COVID kicks in, it cancels some programs. But on March 12th at 5:15 p.m., the day that Brian was murdered, he had a list of appointments, and Isaac, I'm just going to say that name, that last name there, not Isaac Funderburg, but this was a woman that had an appointment, and her appointment was scheduled for 5:15 p.m. on March 12th. Another lady, she said, was coming in on her way out, and she was a conservative type lady, was the one that was waiting. It seems that everybody went to the grocery store, by the way, but she wanted me and the detectives and anybody listening on this case to know something. And she felt that something was abnormal. 2 different times, this woman had to wait to get in. And when she had to wait to get in, it was when guys would be there. Guys were in the waiting. Guys were actually being adjusted. She's in the waiting room, and she said there was no noise. There was no noise, no chiropractic noises, and that she always had to wait longer to get into the office. It was so quiet in the room, and it was always behind when it was ever guys that were in that. So it was quiet. You couldn't hear any like chiropractic noises, and no communication, nothing. And then a guy would then walk out of, and it wasn't that way. She was saying if it was a female. And so she would just go in whenever she had to. It wasn't like she saw him regularly, as far as just like I'd go in every Thursday or Friday or Monday or whatever. But something that was really interesting was that fact to me, that that it was weird that there was no noises with guys. Then you mix the what Eldora Gatchel said, and that a guy was in there, and that he seemed disgruntled or whatever. Then I went one step further to talk to a woman that was there the day of the murders, and she said that that when she was there, she said, I was in his office that day. I had a 3:15 appointment. He was running late. This gentleman said he is running late, or was he running late? Because he was sitting, letting me know that doctor is running late. He was sitting there. He was about 5'8", dark skin, dark black hair. And I have a 3:30. All of a sudden, he takes off his boots. He puts something inside of his boots. And this woman says that, hey, Linda was before me. I go in. But before I go in, this guy, he comes in, he takes off his boots. He's laying on the couch. It was just the weirdest interaction ever. And then she leaves when she's done from her appointment. And she goes in, in his office is normally about 20 minutes max. And that her husband travels a lot, so he was out of town. But yeah, she said that I had never seen this guy before. He looked like he was a construction guy. His boots were like those yellow construction, no facial hair, never had seen him again. And so I was determined to figure out who this guy was with these boots and was good looking and 5'8"-ish. I was determined to find out who just rolls into a chiropractor's office, takes off their shoes, gets on their couch, and lays on their couch as they are waiting for an appointment. Kind of weird, right? Well, I found out who the person was. And this person would be none other than Lowell Grable, the person that Jennifer Drake told investigators numerous times to talk to Lowell. He's the reason that Brian went down there to Bonner's Ferry. He's the one that said, come down here to Bonner's, come down here to Bonner's, and we can get you all the Mennonites and blah, blah, blah. And so I was blown away the fact that it was Lowell and that this is who this good-looking 5'8", dark. But something that was crazy to me was to hear this woman say that she had never seen him before, because I thought he was rather a popular person there. But she said that she had never seen him. And he was the appointment. So I was able to do process of elimination to figure out then, okay, if that was her time spot, okay, I have this person in that spot. Okay, who was that? Boom. Holy shit, Lowell saw him that day. And that is one of the persons who Jennifer was like, hey, talk to him. Now, I don't know if the whole swinger thing is true. I believe that they, from actually, I think Jennifer's own mouth and her sister's own mouth, that they were swingers. Okay. And I have no idea if it's true, but I would love to ask Lowell if he is a swinger. It's that simple. Just curious, because like I said, it was multiple things leading up. It's the totality. Multiple people said, when guys are in there, it's awfully quiet, and the guys always take longer, which, okay, maybe, but then you have a guy coming in feeling he could take his boots off, lay on the couch. Was Brian, Drake, was there any interest that Brian had in males? Is that an angle that we need to look at? Because what was going on that would be something that would be so shameful for maybe some people. But again, this is just news that we wanted to get out there. We think it's very interesting. I don't know anybody that would come into somebody's, place of business, pop off their boots, lay on the couch as they're waiting to get their chiropractor to, adjust them. I've never heard of that before. And come to find out, it's the person that Jennifer Drake, said that she knew and told investigators, like, that's who you need to talk to. That's who, he knows everybody, and he knows Brian the best. He knows Brian the best. He knows Brian the best. Well, how well did Lowell know Brian? And so, again, very deep research over here, narrowing it down to where people were, who was lying that day. Like I said, this is 37 to 40 pages, something like that. And we got a lot of people lying. So it's going to be interesting when it all comes out. But my question, everybody, is who is Lowell Grable? And Lowell, let's talk. Let's talk about your last visit with Mr. Drake, and the fact that let's talk about what he told you. So again, hopefully you guys are doing well. I will be live tonight to show the Delphi hearing and what went down in Delphi. I'm not sure, what's going on, but obviously Natalie Holloway's mother finally getting to hear the words out of Vandersloot's mouth that he, in fact, did kill her daughter. I still have so many questions about that. I've read Beth's book so much. I give Beth so much credit. Like I said, read her book. What they did in the immediate hours, after knowing that Nellie was missing, and they all went down there to Aruba and they literally turned Aruba upside down looking for their kid. That's exactly what I would do. It's been 18 years, and so yesterday that came out. He took a deal. He'll be serving his time, as Nancy Grace said, getting conjugal visits. So, but I question the story that he gave. A girl that I'm actually pretty good friends with, she went to high school with Natalie, and there was a lot surrounding. She was on that trip. She was in Aruba. So She doesn't like to talk about it. It's a sore subject. I don't bring it up. I respect those boundaries. But she said that, that wouldn't be something that Natalie would do, is to just, how did she just go off with him? That doesn't make any sense. And so he didn't really talk about that aspect of it. Like, how did you get Natalie in that car? You know, he's saying that he was kneed in the crotch by her, you know. You can make out anywhere. You can make out at, outside the hotel if someone's dropping you off. But why would Natalie ever get into a vehicle with him, without other people? How does that happen? So, but yeah. Do you mean he laid on a couch in a waiting room before going into the office? Yeah, he took off his boots, laid on the couch while there was somebody else in there. Laid on the couch and like was like closed his eyes and was waiting. To answer your question there, Helen. So, but yeah, but we're going to pick it up here later. Again, thank you guys for joining. This was just a quick update here. Brian Drake, who really killed Brian Drake, and it was definitely not Dr. Daniel Moore, but we're going to get down to the nitty gritty. And until then, be kind to one another, and we will see you soon.